Hi, I'm Felicia, and today I just wanted another little chat episode. So, I really wanted to talk about the little sneaky, um, I guess, belief that can manifest in like winning your creativity. And really getting down to the nitty gritty of this helped me start creating so much more once I kind of like let this idea go that there was any winning, because I would start to get a creative idea and or project. Like, I don't know, it's interesting because it's like YouTube is a bigger, longer project, but there's all these little ideas and little videos and little things that you can do within it. It's so interesting, and so many creative endeavors are like that. You're writing a book, but you're also like writing characters and writing scenes and writing locations, and there's so much art within art. And so what was tripping me up is that I wanted to win all of my art. And so I'd get really excited, I'd do all these different little things, and I'd get to a point where I was like, well, I don't have an audience. I don't have like everything put together. Like, I don't know how to win this thing. There's no measurable force for me to succeed, I guess. And you might argue, like, oh, a viral video or this. And like, maybe that was kind of in my head, like, oh, like, I want to go viral on YouTube, or I want to write a best debut seller, or like whatever it is. You're like, okay, this is the winning of it. And then I wasn't doing anything because I just felt so far away from winning at the beginning. You feel so far away from the end. And I really just didn't know how to appreciate the journey, but it didn't feel like that because it was like, no, I'm not doing it because I want to be really good and I want to wait until I'm like really good. And that was just stopping me. It was probably like vague perfectionism showing up in a way. But then it was like, well, okay, what does winning mean? Does winning mean you don't do it anymore? Like, and I think that's what was in my head. I wanted to get to this point where it's like, okay, cool, I've succeeded, done, checked, on to the next thing. And I don't think it's bad to actually go, like, shift your creativity if you want. My partner actually always says, like, creativity shifts. It doesn't just go away, because I used to be a really big poet, and then I kind of stopped doing poetry, and I was like, oh, I'm not creative at all anymore. It was like, no, you actually do so many other creative things. You're just only putting poetry in your realm of creativity. So I do think creativity shifts, and you can like get to a point where you're not doing your specific medium of creativity and it shifts to something else. But if you're stopping yourself from even starting things because you just automatically want to win them, that was what was stopping me for so long, for so many things, for YouTube, for book writing. It was just like, I want to be so good and I'm not, so I'll just wait until I'm good. And do you know how you get good at things? You do them. You don't just hope you're gonna wake up and be a phenomenal editor or storyteller or videographer or whatever it is that you want to do. You're not just gonna wake up and be good at that if you don't keep putting in the efforts and the vision and just keep chipping away at it. It doesn't have to be this big, elaborate thing all the time. And that's why I kind of think it was a bit of perfectionism that I didn't really realize was perfectionism. Even though, I don't know, whenever I say it, it maybe sounds kind of obvious, but when you're in your own thoughts in your own head, it's not so obvious to you. And so, yeah, I just sort of wanted to remind you that whatever you want to do, there is no winning, there is only doing. And you're never going to get to a point where, or hopefully, like if your goal is fame and fortune and you're like, okay, whenever this happens, I'm good to bow out of this or whatever. That's not really creativity. That's a different game with different things, and you can play that with no creativity if you want. But with creativity, with life passion, with artistry, you're really not doing a ton of things that you want to stop doing at some point. Like, I don't know, if someone was like, okay, you get 1 million views, you get 1 million subscribers, good job, you won, or whatever, I would not stop making videos. Like, that, I would just want to keep making videos, that there's no end. So whenever I thought of that, I was just like, oh, so whatever access that I think having 1 million views or 1 million subscribers gives me, I can just access those feelings right now, right where I am, very presently, and just create from a place of like whatever I want to create, whether anyone's watching or not, which is kind of the overall message of my just start video, is like, it doesn't really matter who's watching or who's listening if you like who you are when you're telling the story. That's kind of the whole point, is that you just keep becoming better at whatever you want to get better at, and maybe as a byproduct eventually you will win with the numbers and like whatever it is you want out of something. But I would hope that, or how I'm attacking creativity, I guess, and what has helped me create exponentially more than I was creating even just a few months ago, is just recognizing that it's not about that end goal, actually. It's just about who I'm becoming while I'm doing the thing I want to do, whatever it is. And when I'm approaching it with that, I just feel so excited all the time. Like, every time I think of a new video idea, there's this expansion, there's this excitement. And I'm not really thinking like, oh, what if it only gets like 16 views? It's like, okay, it very well could, but would you still make it even if you didn't even post it or whatever? And that's kind of what it's coming down to, is like, do the things you wouldn't post, and then you can post them, whatever. Like, you know, sharing is not bad, obviously, but if your goal is the views, if your goal is the winning, you'll never start, or you'll never feel this like infinite well of possibilities that is within you, because you're waiting for the validation from others perpetually. And so when you're not waiting for that validation, when you're not waiting to win, you just get to win all the time. And that's like where I'm at now. Like, I don't know, today's actually been really, really rainy and stormy, and I typically have really hard time with rainy days, and I've actually really changed that relationship to rainy days a lot in the past few months, or like that, the winter, any bad weather. And man, I'm just happy to be here. Like, today has been so great, and it's just so amazing to see that I can access this whatever days, and that anyone can access it in whatever phase they are on their creative journey. Maybe you do have 1 million subscribers, but you just don't feel that like deep pulsing energy for your creation anymore, because you keep thinking about all the people you're creating for and not yourself, because that's really what it comes down to. And I don't know, yeah, just let yourself not have to win and see what all happens after that. So I hope you all are having an amazing day, and week. And yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video or the next chat.